Okay, this is my awesome Rube Goldberg machine that I hope is totally going to work. And with paper. Okay, here we go. So, this is 11 steps long. The first one is that I put this little ball on this beam right here. And that is a kinetic to potential energy transformation, because the kinetic energy of my arm is giving the ball potential energy when I put it onto the beam. The second one is that the marble on the beam has more mass on this side, so then this side of the beam goes down and the marble rolls off. That is a potential to kinetic energy transfer, because it had potential energy when it was on the beam, and then it had kinetic energy when it was moving. The third step is that the marble rolls off the beam, so like that, and that is a kinetic to kinetic energy transfer, because it's transferring the beam's kinetic energy from moving to the marble while it's falling off. The next step is that the marble lands between the guitar strings. This is a kinetic to potential energy, because the kinetic energy of the marble turns into potential energy when it's resting on the guitar strings. Hold on, here, fixing break. Okay. Number 5 is that the marble rolls down the strings. That's a potential to kinetic energy transfer, because the potential energy of the marble sitting on the strings turns into kinetic as it starts to fall. 6th one is the marble hits the dominoes, as you can see here, clearly labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a kinetic to potential energy transfer, because the marble with kinetic energy hits the dominoes. And for a second there, while everything's still, it has potential energy because everything's still. The 7th one is the dominoes fall over, and that is a potential to kinetic energy transfer, because it had potential before, and I already explained why it had potential, and then it turns into kinetic as the dominoes fall over onto each other and knock each other over. The 8th one is the dominoes keep falling until they reach the computer, and that is a kinetic to potential energy transfer, because the dominoes are falling with kinetic energy, and then they stop falling when the last one falls over. 9th is that the dominoes push this marble here, the shiny thing right there. It's actually heavier than this one. That is a that is a potential to kinetic energy transfer, because the potential energy of the dominoes not falling anymore transfers to the marble moving with kinetic energy. The 10th step is that the marble rolls through that cardboard tube here that is actually more of a rectangle-ish shape. That is a kinetic to kinetic energy transfer, because the marble has kinetic energy while it's moving, while the dominoes are pushing it, and then it gets kinetic energy from moving through the tube. And then the last and final step is the marble comes out of the tube and onto the N key of the computer, opened up on a Microsoft Word document, and that is a kinetic to kinetic energy transfer, because the movement of the ball gives the computer kinetic energy when the N key is being pushed down. It is moving. Okay. Let's hope that this works. Yes, it worked. It pressed N and then space and then N, but it still spelled out bacon. That was awesome. Okay. End video.